When you think of Valorant, what do you think of? Another tactical shooter like Counter-Strike, just with abilities? Tarek maybe? The Counter-Strike pro turned Valorant content creator turned mega Valorant watch party streamer? Both good options. But for me and most of the world, the answer is the Sentinels.
The man is a legend.
Absolutely magnificent. It's just unreal.
Shot! Pick up the plan. He's swinging around the corner. And just again.
This is devastating.
But for the last 2 years, the Sentinels have been missing in action, with subpar finishes in both 2022 and 2023. What happened after that 2021 run, where they won Reykjavik, stomped almost every Challengers and Masters event, and fell short in Berlin at the World Championship? This is the story of the return of the Kings of Valorant, the Sentinels. Before talking about the return, we have to start about where they were before the fall. On March 10th, 2021, Sinatra moved to an inactive position. With Sinatra moving down, Sentinels received a loaned player from Cloud9 Blue. You might not know of this player. That person was tenz. At 18 years old, tenz joined the Cloud9 CSGO roster. However, only a year and a half later, with the announcement of the Riot Games' first-person tactical shooter Valorant, tenz announced his retirement from CSGO and became Cloud9's first player for the game. From April 2020 through March 2021, tenz stayed with Cloud9 until he was loaned out to Sentinels. What a move this ended up being. After picking up tenz, the Sentinels' legacy began. First place at North American Stage 1 Masters. First place, beating Cloud9 at Stage 2 Challengers 2. First place at Stage 2 Challengers Finals. Won 3-0 against Fnatic to win Reykjavik Masters. First place again at North American Stage 3 Challenger Playoffs. But after all those victories, the Sentinels fell short where it mattered, finishing 5th through 8th in Masters Berlin, and then ending up 9th through 12th in the 2021 Valorant Champions World Championship. After an unprecedented run, the Sentinels fell short of their World Championship aspirations, and the roster and team fell into disarray. In 2022, the roster moves were insane. Zombs moves to inactive after a 7th-8th finish in North American Stage 1 Challengers. On May 27th, Sick moves to inactive after North American Stage 2. On July 8th, Shroud joins. Not to get too off topic here, but yes, that Shroud. The CS GOAT Shroud. Boston Major Shroud. PUBG, Warzone, Siege, got it any game he touches Shroud. And to help Shroud out, Zelsis joins on July 11th. On August 11th, that Sentinels roster plays in the last chance qualifier for VCT 2022 and falls short again, finishing 5th through 6th. 4 days later, Shroud leaves. 16 days after Shroud leaves, Zelsis also leaves, but he heads to version 1. And the rest of 2022, devoid of any more tournaments for Sentinels, is full of even more roster moves. Zekin joins in early October. Dapper moves to inactive. Then Sacy and Pancada join. Sick moves to the starting roster. Shazam leaves the inactive position. And then to round out the end of 2022 for Sentinels, Dapper leaves for G2. Even if you're familiar with esports, you know that is a ton of roster moves. Signings, leavings, picking up a full-time streamer to compete, not much is to be expected, and the results showed all of it. 2022 was a disaster, especially when you consider that Sentinels is pretty much exclusively a Valorant organization. Yes, they have a Halo team, and yes, they have an Apex team, but take one look at any of their merch or social media accounts, and you will see that they are 95% Valorant, and I'm not faulting them for that. Esports are currently going through a rough patch, so I understand having limited teams. I'm trying to paint the picture for you about how much they care about Valorant, and how these roster moves are them reaching and posturing for a team that can be competitive. And in 2023, those roster moves continued. And with those roster moves, more tournament struggles. The Sentinels finished 17th through 32nd in the VCT lock-in in Sao Paulo, so Sick is moved to inactive and Marv joins. VCT Americas 2023 comes and goes with the Sentinels finishing 7th. In the last chance qualifier, Sentinels take 4th. Their VCT hopes for 2023 are now chalked. Time for more moves. If you are Sentinels, you have to stem the bleeding. You have to make a change that can help you make these Masters runs. Even worse than that, you need a team that can actually qualify for them. And as 2023 comes to an end, Sentinels make those moves. On September 8th, 2023, tenz extends his contract. On September 13th, Sentinels signed new IGL John QT. On September 14th, they signed Zelsis as a sub, all in preparation for the 2024 season. And that 2024 season starts in February, but Sentinels are not done. On February 9th, the Sentinels bench Pancata, moving Zelsis to the starting roster. The roster is now set. Zekin, Sacy, John QT, Zelsis, and tenz. It's time for VCT 2024. The first tournament of 2024 for the Sentinels is going to be VCT Americas. The event takes place over 2 weeks with 11 teams competing for spots in Masters Madrid. 3 groups, 2 with 4 teams, and 1 with 3. The first seed out of those groups will automatically qualify for the playoff bracket, while the 2 seeds from these groups will move to a play-in stage bracket, where the top team will make the playoffs. Sentinels got the infamous Group of Death. Their group, Group B, contained Loud, former World Championship team, Leviathan, an Argentinian esport organization that is slowly growing into something impressive, and 100 Thieves, a staple now in esports that is always above average. After a rough opening day getting 2-0'd by Loud, the next matchup was an elimination match for them. It would be Sentinels vs 100 Thieves, the battle of the North American powerhouses. Sentinels came out on top, forcing a decider map against Leviathan. The decider match also went Sentinels' way, 2-1, putting Sentinels through to the play-in stage. Sentinels escaped their Group of Death, but now have yet another obstacle to tackle, the play-in group. Since they finished second in their group, they move to the play-in stage, where G2 and MIBR wait. Round 1 goes Sentinels' way, 2-0 against MIBR. G2 then lose to MIBR, putting Sentinels in the driver's seat. And due to the format of the event, Sentinels do not even need to win the match versus G2, just a certain number of rounds. And sure enough, Sentinels win the amount of rounds needed. G2 do win 2-1 against Sentinels, but it does not matter, the Sentinels have made it through to the playoff bracket. Now it is time for the main event, the playoffs. The playoffs are simple, a 4-team, single elimination bracket, where the semifinals are a best of 3, and the grand finals is a best of 5. Both of the teams in the grand finals qualify for Masters Madrid, one of the major events during the Valorant season that allows teams to earn points. All the practice, preparation, roster moves, and effort have culminated towards this simple goal. Top 2, Masters Madrid. The first matchup for Sentinels is against NRG. NRG dominated their group with their new roster, which added world champions Ethan and Demon 1 in the offseason. Demon 1 was undoubtedly the best player of 2023, and now he's on a new roster, helping NRG punish their opponents. And going into round 24 of map 1 on Sunset, NRG have been punishing Sentinels. The score is 12-1 in favor of NRG, and they only need 1 round to take map 1. Sentinels need 1 round to force OT, and because I cannot do this play justice, I'm handing it off to the casters Esports Doug and Baby Bay for their call on the round.
It's been immaculate.
Oh, it's been a treat to watch.
It seems like they always pick the right side.
First trip cleared, the dog went all the way around the pillar! tenz does it again! Intense on OT! But can they counter? No! tenz with 4! Second gets the last! OT on the cards!
After that iconic clutch play from tenz, Sentinels go on to take the series 2-1 over NRG, finding themselves in the grand finals against Loud and qualified for Madrid. They have done the hardest part and made Masters Madrid. Now it was time for a grand finals best of 5. Sentinels take the grand finals 3-2 over Loud, showing not just the Americas, but the world that they are back.
Intense on OT! All the way around the pillar! tenz does it again! OT! All the way around the pillar!
The Sentinels have arrived in Madrid. Masters Madrid is the first Masters event of 2024. This means that finishing first here will award placement points towards the World Championship qualification. The prize pool is also $500,000, so you get some pocket change too.
Get ready. From March 14th to March 24th, the best Valorant players in the world will converge for Masters Madrid. The first global event of the 2024 Valorant Champions Tour will feature 8 teams representing the 4 international leagues. Teams earn qualification for Masters by finishing top 2 at their respective kickoff tournaments.
The event starts out with a Swiss stage. 8 teams, all best of 3, with the teams that reach 2 wins making it to the playoffs. Gen G and Sentinels handle business going 2-0, and Loud and Paper Rex go 2-1 to also make the playoffs. And now the stage is set. Gen G will play Paper Rex in their series, and the Sentinels will play Loud in theirs. Gen G handled business 2-0 against Paper Rex in their match, but the Sentinels have their hands full in theirs. Starting off on Split, one of the Sentinels' best maps, they win 13-4 to take map 1. Map 2 goes to Icebox, where Loud take them down 14-12, forcing a map 3. Sunset goes to overtime, and Sentinels escape the upper bracket semifinals with a 2-1 win over Loud. Next on the docket is the Gen G Powerhouse, a Korean organization with big aspirations in Valorant. With Munchkin leading as IGL, Gen G are looking fierce in VCT. Meteor, Texture, Karen, and fan favorite Lakia are stunning the Pacific League with their game plan. And the number 1 seed from Pacific took down Sentinels in a pretty convincing fashion, going 2-1, with a 13-5 win on Split and a 13-3 victory on Breeze. With this victory, Gen G move on to the Grand Finals, awaiting the winner of Paper Rex versus the Sentinels. But this new Sentinels roster is not going down that easy. The lower bracket final between them and Paper Rex is a best of 5, but it only takes the Sentinels 4. They've made it to the Grand Finals, with a rematch now slated against Gen G. Gen G get the map ban advantage since they are the upper bracket team, opting to ban Lotus and Sunset. This means the best of 5 will go Breeze, Bind, Ascent, Split, and then Icebox should the games go to 5. The Grand Finals is underway. First map goes to Gen G as they 13-8 the Sentinels on Breeze. The Sentinels fight right back with an overtime victory of 14-12 on Bind, making the series 1-1. Ascent comes and Gen G takes it 13-8, making them 2-1 and 1 map away from clinching Grand Finals. But the next map is Split, a map Sentinels are known for. They show their grit and take Split 13-10, making the series 2-2, forcing Game 5 on Icebox. And in an anticlimactic victory, the Sentinels stomp Gen G 13-6, winning Masters Madrid, their first major event since 2021. This victory sent the Sentinels back to North America with $250,000, 3 VCT points towards a World Championship qualification, and a whole new perspective on their future. The Sentinels of 2022 and 2023 are gone. The Sentinels are back, and they've left their mark on Valorant.